Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to take you through some tips and tricks to do your water changes, as well as just some little ways you can make it a less stressful experience for your fish. So today I'm going to take you through the steps involved in a water change for your fish tank. A water change is one of the most important things that you're going to need to do if you want to run a successful fish tank. With the pandemic that's been going on, lots of people have been diving into the fish hobby, which is fantastic to see. But you're going to need to learn how to do water changes, as it is super important to maintain a healthy fish tank. Before we get started on actually how to do a water change, I want to mention that if you're just setting up your tank now, set it up somewhere that you can easily do water changes, whether it's to be a sink, out a window, out a door, whatever. Just try and make it easy for yourself to do a water change, because if doing a water change is really difficult, you're not going to want to do it. And that's just going to make it more of a hassle down the track, and after a few months you're going to really get over it. Or you're going to not want to do water changes, which puts your fish's health at risk. So yeah, first of all, set up your tank somewhere to make it easy. Now, to do a water change, the first thing you're going to have to do is, of course, drain the water. There's a couple of different ways you can do this. You could get a water pump like this, right? And you attach a hose to the end. Drop this in your tank, and you can siphon using this hose either down the sink, out the window, out the door, whatever the case may be. You'll often see a lot of people online talking about the Python system. The Python system may work really well for Americans, but here in Australia we have a lot of chlorine in our waters. In America, it tends to be a lot of people live on properties that have wells or dechlorinated water, which means they can add their water straight into their tanks with minimal risk. Here in Australia we do need to dechlorinate our water, so putting it straight from the tap into your tank is not the best idea. So what I do is, you can get a siphon like this, you can get a small one, or you can get a big one like this, depending on the size of your tank. What I've done is, I've grabbed a couple of these length tubes with a little connector from Bunnings, and I run it straight out my door into the garden, onto the grass, water all the plants, whatever I need to do, so I can at least use the water for this. It's not just going to complete waste. Now, once you've drained your water, they recommend 25% weekly, 50% weekly, whatever works for you. It depends on the stocking of your tank. If you've got a fully stocked African cichlid tank, of course you're probably going to be wanting to do 50% water change, maybe weekly, bi-weekly, up to you and what your tank requires. It's really important to do water checks to check the parameters of your tank to work out when you do need to do a change. First of all, you're going to want to have a look at the cycle, or how to cycle your tank, and learn how to do that. I'm not going to go into that in depth in this video because there's lots of information online about how to do that. What I've actually done though is I've actually marked 25% water and a 50% water change on my tank, so I can visually see when I'm draining the water what a 25 and a 50% is, because that's generally what I do. This tank here, I do a 25% weekly, and probably once a month I do a 50% water change just to keep things nice and stable. Now, what you're supposed to do is, the day before you do a water change, you should fill up some buckets full of water, bring them inside, and add a dechlorinator or water conditioner such as Prime. This will detoxify the chlorine that's in your water and make it safe for the fish. By letting it sit, really gives that chlorine time to detoxify it, and it also brings the water temperature to room temperature, so there's less shock for your fish. Then after you drain the water, you put that water in your tank. What I've done though, and this is definitely a do as I say, not as I do moment, I tend to just bring the hose from outside straight in the tank, add the Prime in, and let it mix in the tank. That works for me on this tank. It may not work for you, so I do highly recommend to just use a bucket, add your prime, let it sit for 24 hours, then do your water change. So I think that's about everything. So to do your water change, as a brief recap, you're going to need a siphon or a pump. A siphon is really good if you've got gravel substrate and you want to clean out anything that's got trapped in between that gravel. So a siphon is really good for that. Next, you want to grab some clear tubing like this. You can grab this from Bunnings and grab the lengths that you need to get it either to a sink or outside, whatever suits you. So siphon down your water to about 25%. Then you're going to have to refill it. It's best to refill it with water that is about the same temperature and that's been dechlorinated. It's had water conditioner added, so it's about the same. So I hope you've learned something from this video. If there's anything else you want to learn, please let me know and I'll try and make a video on it. If you have any suggestions, please leave in the comments below. Please like the video, subscribe, it's greatly appreciated, and I'll see you in the next one.